you what, if I'm doing anything wrong in this government, just tell me about it.
Did you see what Martha Mitchell did? No. She called somebody. She called the New York Times.
This one really interested me because of Martha Mitchell herself. Someone who was hilarious, was quite a character, was maligned for the wrong reasons, stood up for the truth, and yet was dismissed and actually abused. And yet she came through it, and sure enough, years later, Martha was right. Watergate was wrong.
I like her. I like her a lot. The laugh. I like getting to show a little bit more of her vulnerable side, her humanity. Because, you know, this was a human being that got raked over the coals in front of the entire country. She deserves so much better than what she ended up with.
Well, John Mitchell is an interesting character in the context of Martha's life, simply because I think he's more of a main character in her life, but then he turns out to be almost the villain of the piece for her. I think he came to her at a time when she really, really needed someone. I think they very much cared for each other. Circumstances played out, I guess that circumstances may have driven them a little bit apart, simply because of how he got caught up into that Nixon administration and the whole Watergate scandal and everything else. But I don't think she ever lost her desire and devotion to him. She always thought that he was mixed up in the wrong thing, wanted to get him vindicated, even though there's a part of her that I think knows that he was a big part of this as well.
I am sick and tired of people saying I'm after publicity. But if I have to get publicity in order to clear two guiltless people, my husband and myself, and you can place all the blame right on the White House, and if you've got any sense at all, you'll go out and find out where it is.
Well, I'm not having any fun at all. I'm just kidding. We've been married for 28 years. We're very comfortable with each other. So,
and I think that's something that makes this fun for us, is that we know each other very, very well, and you know, we know how to work with each other. There are some highly romantic scenes in this show that are really fun to play together, and there's some explosive scenes that are also really fun to play together. Well, the scene that's closest to us, I think, in the show is most likely the first date scene.
I think it's when there's a scene where I am home in bed, pretty much been assaulted at Watergate, but she's in bed and she doesn't feel well, and he asks to take a look and see what's wrong, and she's all like, no, I don't want to hear. Look at my bruised arm. And
Yeah, you're right. That's probably closest to us in real life.
yeah.
These Senate hearings are as much rehearsed as any play on Broadway.
There's a lot of funny stuff in the show, so I'm sort of really glad that the show's being done. What happened to her should never happen to anyone. I think people, when they come forward with their stories, they should be heard. We need to hear people and investigate what they say. She had nothing to gain from doing that, because look what happened. It ruined her life. It ruined her marriage. Women in those days, they had no agency, they had no credibility, and we're circling right back around to that now. I don't want Martha Mitchell to ever be forgotten.